Yo, what's up guys? Today I'm back with my week 9 match from the Smogon Premier League versus ZoroDark. Now this is my final battle rather from SPL, as unfortunately the Wolfpack did not make it to playoffs, so 9 battles is where it ends for me. But it's a pretty cool match because as you can see I've brought my jamvads if Salamence will stop blocking Dugtrio. But yeah, I brought my jamvads with me, and Dugtrio actually does really well versus ZoroDark's team because not only does it trap Klefki if I get it in on a double and preventing it from Thunder Waving my Xerneas or my Salamence, which can have some pretty easy sweeps. Of course, had I been Geomancy Xerneas, I'm actually Choice Scarf. But it also causes my opponent to really have to double or predict, as for me, I can make my safer play or my best play that turn, and basically it'll usually work out for me. The fact that I just have Dugtrio on my team means that my opponent can't play his Klefki carelessly. He can't just click T-Wave on my setup sweepers or my threatening Pokemon, and that really is going to come into play this match, as you guys will see. So I'm going to lead off with my Xerneas. Like I said, I am Choice Scarf, as my opponent ends up leading off with Latios. Perfect. He has like 3 checks for Xerneas, and he didn't lead off with one of them, so I'm able to get off free damage on the incoming Groudon. Now, based on this damage, I don't think he's running that much Spadef at all, as I do about 30% with this Moonblast. So I'm going to switch directly into my Latias, as he does end up going for a Stealth Rock. I want to get those out of here, so I'm going to go right for the Defog, as he does reveal the Dragon Tail. Probably expecting my Defog right there, doing a decent amount to my Latias. Unfortunately, he brings me out to my Jamvads, and at that range of HP, I can't quite pick it off yet. I need about 10% more, that way I can always KO it with Earthquake. So I'm going to switch out to my Salamence, as he does predict that very nicely. Ends up going right for the Dragon Tail once again, but once again, gonna go right back out on Salamence. And the great thing about this is he, sorry for pausing, I didn't even mean to pause right there. The great thing about this is he ended up going for Earthquake, which means that I get off a free Roost. I don't want to Mega Evolve just yet because I do want to keep my Intimidate for the Groudon, as well as potentially his Arceus. So he ends up bringing out his Yveltal. I do a pretty safe switch into that, being my Arceus Rock, as he does end up doubling into Groudon, probably predicting my Xerneas to want to come in. So I'm going to be forced to switch out. Going to go out to my Salamence just to get off that Intimidate one more time, as he ends up playing up Stealth Rock. Expecting my switch. Good play on my opponent's part, as I am now just going to choose to go for the Mega Evolution, and I can hit this Yveltal on switching with the return. That actually does a nice amount, not even going to lie, because I know that Yveltal is definitely defensive. So he's pretty much going to be forced to Roost right here, as had I Dragon Dance and he switched out, he would die to the next return. So I end up bringing out my Arceus Rock and go right for Judgment, just in case he wants to go out to Groudon to absorb a Will-O-Wisp, as I could to a KO it. And now I'm just going to end up going for the Will-O-Wisp on the Latios, just in case he wants to switch out into Klefki. So I am a Combine Arceus Rock, which is potentially a win condition in this game, though I have to play it well. So Recover is easily my best play. He knows that, so he's going to go out into his Gengar, take this as an opportunity to Mega Evolve. Now looking at his team, Xerneas can definitely put in work. Of course, he has 3 check/counters, more checks. You can't really counter Xerneas. You check it with Thunder Wave, super effective hits, being able to boost hits, and phasing it or hitting it. But looking at my team, Arceus Rock, I need it for Yveltal. Salamence can potentially sweep his team. Latias, the Defog support, as well as the Healing Wish support, and Draco on this monster is something that I would need it for, and Xerneas is just a win condition, outspeeding his entire team, as well as helping me deal with whatever his Arceus form is. At this point in time, I'm thinking it's either Rock or Ground, just looking at the makeup of his team. He's actually using a team that I would probably use, the Mons anyway, though I would probably use Latias over Latios just for Healing with support, as these do not have any Cleric moves besides Rest, so that's just me though. But anyway, I go out to my Groudon because I am fully specially defensive, so I can eat up any hit this Gengar wants to go for, as he actually ends up Mega Evolving and going right for the Perish Song, so I know that he is Perish Trapped now. I don't know whether he has Taunt or Destiny Bond is his final move, because Perish Trap Gengar runs Perish Song, Protect, Substitute, and either Taunt or Destiny Bond. So I go for Loud Plume on the Protect, and now I'm actually going to click Roar. Because he went immediately for Protect and not for like Sub or Taunt, I'm thinking he doesn't have Taunt, he probably has Destiny Bond, so I'm able to force him out. And that 25% that he did to himself, again, I'm sorry for pausing, but I really am trying to explain my thought process. I did want to record this live actually, but I was actually late for school, so I probably wouldn't have had time to render it and stuff when I was recording this. But anyway, that 25% is super crucial on this Gengar, or 24%, whatever, however Showdown shows it, because Now it's in range of being 2-hit KO'd from my Xerneas, and I can bait it in since he does not know that my Xerneas is actually Choice Scarf. So I end up forcing him out into Klefki. Perfect for me. Gives me a free switch back into my Latias. He might expect me to go out into my Arceus form right here, or either my Dugtrio, or he might just go back down to Groudon expecting a Loudplume. So he doesn't end up going out to Groudon. I'm just going to drop a Draco as opposed to going for Defog, as if I get off a lot of damage on this Groudon, I can force it to stay in, go out to my Xerneas, go right for the Moonblast right here, and then force in, or bait in his Gengar rather. So he does end up going out to Gengar, probably thinking he can Perish Song, and then proceed to Destiny Bomb me. But I do catch him off guard with the Choice Scarf Moonblast. It is a 2-hit KO from that range, like I said. Probably could have went out to Klefki right there, but he really is paranoid of Klefki getting trapped. And after Stealth Rock, Dugtrio, it's still a roll whether Klefki knocks it out with Play Rough. So, and he would have to attack me on that turn, predicting that. So right there, he actually didn't choose to go for the Double Protect. I might have gone for that play had I been thinking, you know, long term and I was in his situation. But he ends up making the Klefki play, which is great because I get to save my Xerneas while also getting off damage on this Klefki. Now, I don't want to go out into my Arceus Rock. I don't want to go out to my Salamence, and I definitely do not want to stay in and lose this thing. So I'm going to go out into my Groudon because it is my best possible play. Like I said, it's the most expendable member on my team, as he actually ends up revealing Arceus Ground, pulling a nice double, predicting me to go out into my Groudon, and just going to hit that thing with a Loudplume, more accurate than Precipice Blades. I can get the potential burn, and I can do about 50%, almost 50% to this Arceus Ground, as I'm just going to sack my Groudon in the next turn. Salamence isn't necessarily a free switch just because of the chance that Sonage could crit, but at that range of HP, I can potentially knock him out with Moonblast. It's actually in my favor to knock him out, so just going to go right for Moonblast as he ends up bringing out Klefki. And once again, because I do have Dugtrio in the back, he is really, really scared of this Dugtrio, because if he goes for T-Wave right here, he could go for Play Rough right here. Xerneas will take only about 26%, and I'd be able to knock it out with the next Moonblast after that, and then it'd also be another prediction whether or not I go out to my Dugtrio on a Thunder Wave or a Play Rough. As we see, you know, Dugtrio is just really, the fact that Arena Trap means that my opponent cannot switch is really getting into his head. So I decided to actually stay in right here, predicting a Play Rough or a double into something that can catch Dugtrio on the switch-in. So I end up firing off another Moonblast as he ends up bringing out Latios, trying to catch my Dugtrio upon switching, and I'm able to knock it out, as now he's going to go right back out into Klefki. My Dugtrio is the play I am going to make right here, as I was expecting a T-Wave, but he ends up pulling a nice double out into a Veltal, probably expecting me to go Dougie, not wanting to risk the roll or Play Rough, which is a respectable play, because had he went for Play Rough right there, and he got the low roll, I would live, I can knock him out Earthquake, and then it's basically a clean sweep with Xerneas clicking Moonblast, as long as I weaken Arceus a bit. So I bring out my Xerneas because Arceus Rock is such an obvious switch into a Veltal, and I know he's defensive at Veltal, so the best thing he could do is either Toxic me, Foul Play, Sucker Punch. Well, you can't Sucker Punch me on a switch, that'd be kind of cruel. It kind of like going for Pursuit. So I don't want to go out to Arceus Rock and risk him going out into Gengar on a double and trapping me and actually having Destiny Bond, sorry, because I'm pretty sure his last move is Destiny Bond, it's not Taunt. So I decided to go out to my Xerneas on a potential foul play as he does end up pulling that double into Gengar, and now I'm in a great position because everything on his team is either O-Code or 2-hit KO'd, and the only thing actually 2-hit KO'd is Klefki at this point. So he can't really risk switching it in, as he won't be able to bring it in anymore after that. So I am able to go right for the Moonblast right here, as now he's going to bring out his Klefki. And I am going to switch out to my Arceus Rock as opposed to Dugtrio. The reason being is one Dugtrio will go down and Play Rough at this range of HP, but that's not really something I care too much about. The thing I care more about is winning this game, and let's say he doesn't go in for Thunder Wave, and I am able to, you know, kill Klefki. His Arceus Ground will actually get a free recover from there, as Choice Banded Dugtrio is not very strong at all. I'm actually going to pause it real quick just so I can show you the calc on Arceus Ground. One sec. Alright, so as you can see right here in this corner, Choice Banded Dugtrio's Earthquake to Arceus Ground is 40 to 47%. He's at 53%. One, I'd have to win a few speed ties and get some high rolls, and at the end of the day, he'd be able to recover off all my damage and even set up on me and potentially sweep my team. Though, at that point, he'd have to be at enough HP to be able to take on my Xerneas, as well as win a speed tie versus my Arceus Rock on a Will-O-Wisp. But the thing is, like I said, I want to go out to Arceus Rock because it's the best play that I can make that prevents his Arceus Ground from recovering, as he actually ends up pulling another double, fearing my Dugtrio going out into a Veltal. This is going to work out for me. Just going to fire off a Will-O-Wisp. He predicts that very nicely, stays in, and goes for Taunt. But at the same time, though, I don't really know if that's really a prediction in his favor, because yes, he did go for Will-O-Wisp, that or Taunt rather, sorry. That way I can't go for Will-O-Wisp on the Klefki switching or burn the Arceus ground. But now I have a pretty free switch into my Xerneas, either predicting Arceus ground or a foul play from his Veltal, or even the Klefki switching, you know, to force some more mind games. And at this point, I will be able to fire off one more Moonblast, as he is going to go out to Klefki, and this is Klefki's final switch-in. And like I said, Xerneas is my way of winning, because I knock out Arceus ground with Moonblast, I knock out a Veltal, so I am going to save my Xerneas. Going to choose to go out to my Salamence, because at this point, I am Refresh Dragonite, so I can bring it in on a Thunder Wave. I can refresh on his Play Rough, excuse me, and as long as I don't get paralyzed, I'm in a good position. So I'm able to refresh on his Play Rough, and I will be able to go right for the Roost right here, as he actually ends up switching out into a Veltal. Maybe he should have went for Thunder Wave right there repeatedly and tried and spam it, though had he lost Klefki, my Xerneas just won whenever it came in. But I'm a really bulky Salamence. Mega Salamence is already bulky as it is, so I can just Dragon Dance and Roost up on this Veltal, as he is going to go out into his Klefki right here. He probably should have done that before and tried to get the full paras and spam Play Rough on me, though he might have tried to dodge an Earthquake, though of course I didn't have Earthquake because I already showed Refresh. So I'm able to knock him out with the return, and at this point his only way of winning is not only getting one paralysis, because he has to recover up on my Refresh, because once I refresh I win, because Arceus ground, his variant is SD, which runs Stone Edge, Earthquake, Recover, SD, or as opposed to Recover it could run Extreme Speed. The Recover is definitely better in this meta, since it's the main switch into Primal Ground. So he has to not only hope I get paralyzed once, but twice, because I have to get paralyzed on his Recover so he gets back up to full, and then I have to get paralyzed on his SD, because he needs +2 Stone Edge to be able to knock out Salamence even without an Intimidate. So he's going to recover, as I do not get paralyzed. I break through, get off my Refresh, and at this point, even if he gets a crit with Stone Edge, I still win the game, because Arceus ground is not going to be able to knock me out even with a crit. And basically Mega Salamence is able to clean up this game, knocking out Arceus ground and then finishing off his Veltal. So that was a really good game, ZoroDark. Even though Dugtrio did not land one kill or even get off any attack this game, it just shows how scary my Jamvads were. I love that name. Shout out to Alan, man. I love this name for Dugtrio, my Jamvads. It just shows how scary Dugtrio can really be, or just trappers in general. Similar to Mega Gengar, I trap the Pokemon. I force my opponent to pull doubles or to make a certain play that they normally would not, had they not been scared of, you know, getting trapped by Dugtrio. But yeah, that was a really good game. Shoutouts to my boy Edgar for making this team. Prior weeks to this, I've actually made teams with Edgar and also Problems, but with this week, I was just like, Edgar, you have a fun team I can use for this week? And he's like, I got a cool team with Dugtrio, and I was like, yeah, let me use it. So yeah, we got another win for the Wolfpack. Unfortunately, like I said, we did not make it to the playoffs, but it was a really, really fun season, despite us not really making it to playoffs. But yeah, guys, feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed. I definitely do appreciate the comments, the likes, and the support. I really do appreciate it, honestly. And you know, subscribe if you want to. It also helps my channel grow. You know, subscribing obviously helps my channel grow because I get more than I had before. But I don't even know what I'm saying. That's it, guys. Stay tuned for a Smogon Tour introduction video tomorrow. And yeah, later, guys.